Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 13 The Children of Drupada. King Drupada, who wandered among the hermitages of sages with a deep longing for children, desired a son and a daughter. His desire for a son was specifically to slay Drona. His desire for a daughter was so that she might become the wife of Arjuna. With this intent, he travelled through various ashrams and eventually reached a hermitage located at the confluence of the rivers Ganga and Yamuna. Two brothers named Yaja and Upayaja, belonging to the Kashyapa lineage, resided there, spending their days in Vedic recitation and the worship of the sun day. Among them, the younger brother, Upayaja, appeared to Drupada to be the one possessed of greater spiritual power and ascetic merit. Therefore, Drupada approached him and began to serve him with immense devotion and sincerity. One day, while Drupada was in solitude massaging the feet of Upayaja, he pleaded, "O Lord of sages, Dronacharya has subjected me to an unbearable humiliation. Neither I nor any other king possesses the power to slay him. If you would grace me so that a son capable of killing that Dronacharya is born to me, I shall grant you an innumerable number of cows and whatever else you may desire." To this, Upayaja replied, "I have no such desires. Furthermore, I do not assist in such deeds," and he abruptly put an end to the matter. Nevertheless, Drupada did not lose hope and continued to serve Upayaja with even greater diligence. A year passed. One day, Upayaja spoke to Drupada, "O king, you are rendering me endless service. However, your desire is inappropriate. Therefore, I will not assist in its fulfillment. Nonetheless, I shall suggest a way. Seek refuge with my elder brother, Yaja. Please him and tempt him with the promise of countless cows. He may fulfill your wish. From the beginning, he has been somewhat greedy by nature. Once, he even ate a fruit found in an unclean place. Even during our days of study at the Gurukula, he would eat whatever was pleasing to the tongue without discriminating between what was pure and what was oblique." As soon as Upayaja spoke these words, Drupada went to the hermitage of Yaja, offered his salutations, presented 80,000 cows as a gift, and made his desire known. Yaja consented to this. Taking Upayaja as his assistant and gathering all the necessary ceremonial materials, he commenced the Putrakamishti sacrifice. He performed the ritual fire offering and then, taking the sacrificial offering in his hand, called out to Drupada's wife, Queen Kokildevi, saying, "Accept this offering. A son and a daughter shall be born from your womb." Then Kokildevi replied, "O master, I am currently in an impure state. Please wait a while, I shall bathe and return." Yaja responded, "Will the offering prepared by my younger brother and me together fail to fulfill your desire? Come if you will, otherwise remain as you are." And so saying, he cast the sacrificial offering into the sacred fire. From that sacrificial pit emerged a warrior holding a sword in one hand and a bow in the other, wearing a gem-studded crown on his head, and mounted upon a chariot. He let out a lion-like roar and went away. Subsequently, from that same sacrificial pit, a radiant maiden was born. In this manner, Drupada became the father of a son and a daughter. All the people of Panchala were filled with supreme joy. Meanwhile, Kokildevi returned after her bath and obtained a boon from both Yaja and Upayaja that she would be considered the mother of the two children born from the sacrificial fire. The Brahmins named Drupada's son Dhrishtadyumna and named the daughter Krishna because she was dark-complexioned. Drupada gave countless cows to Yaja and immense wealth to the Brahmins before returning to the city of Kampilya. After some time, Drupada sent Dhrishtadyumna to Dronacharya to learn the science of weaponry. Thinking that refusing to teach him would bring disgrace upon himself, Drona taught the boy all the arts of archery. Drupada's daughter, Draupadi, reached a marriageable age. It had been Drupada's intention from the beginning to give her in marriage to Arjuna. However, news arrived that the Pandavas had perished in the fire at the house of Lank. Drupada was devastated and convened a meeting of his kinsmen, friends, ministers, and priests to seek their advice on what should be done. At that time, a priest who was close to Drupada said, "O great king, it does not seem that the Pandavas have met with disaster. Based on various omens, it appears they are faring well. Why worry? Proclaim a Swayamvara, they will surely come. Is it not customary for royal maidens to have a Swayamvara?" An auspicious time for the Swayamvara was set 3.5 months away. A bow was prepared that was nearly impossible to string. A golden fish contrivance that rotated in the sky was installed. A Brahman who came as a guest to the house where Kunti and the Pandavas were staying in Ekachakrapura recounted all these details and concluded by saying, "Kings from everywhere are heading to the city of Kampilya for the Swayamvara." The Pandavas were saddened to hear that someone had been born to slay their teacher, Dronacharya, but they consoled themselves that what is destined cannot be avoided. They too felt a desire to attend the Swayamvara of Draupadi. Sensing this, Kunti Devi said to Yudhishthir, "My son, we have been living in this city of Ekachakrapura for a long time. If we stay much longer, we may no longer receive alms here. Shall we go to the land of Panchala? It is said to be a prosperous country, and the city of Kampilya is said to be very beautiful. Everyone says that King Drupada has great affection for Brahmins." Yudhishthir consulted with his brothers and convinced them all of their mother's plan. They informed the Brahman in whose house they lived that they were departing and set out from Ekachakrapura. Traveling day and night, they reached a sacred place called Somashravam on the banks of the river Ganga at midnight. It was dark, and Arjuna walked ahead of everyone holding a torch. As they approached the river with the intention of bathing in the Ganga, a Gandharv named Angarparna, who was playing in the waters with his wives at that time, heard the sound of humans and said, "Who comes there? Go far away. All the forest in this vicinity belongs to me. I am the Gandharv named Angarparna. This is the hour when Yakshas, Rakshasas, and Gandharvs roam, humans must not wander." Hearing these words, Arjuna said, "O wicked one, how can the Himalayan region and the river Ganga belong to a single person? They belong to everyone. When one sees the Ganga, whether it is midnight or after a meal, one must certainly bathe. Therefore, we will not proceed without bathing in the river." Angarparna grew angry and began to shoot arrows. Arjuna parried those arrows with the torch in his hand and said, "O Gandharv, whom do you think we are, that you try to threaten us with your measly arrows? None of your illusions will work before us." And so saying, he chanted and released the Agnyastra, the fire weapon. With that, the Gandharv's chariot was burnt to ashes. The Gandharv fell down and fainted. At that moment, the Gandharv's wife, Kumbhansi, sought refuge with Yudhishthir and begged for her husband as alms. Yudhishthir said to Arjuna, "She has sought our protection and begs for her husband as alms. Therefore, do not kill the Gandharv." Hearing his brother's words, Arjuna spared the Gandharv's life. The Gandharv said to Arjuna, "Since I have been defeated by you, I shall give up the name Angarparna. In place of the chariot you burnt, I shall create another Siddhartha, a splendid chariot, and take the name Siddhartha. To you, a great warrior, I shall give the Vidya called Chakshushi. With its help, you can see whatever happens anywhere in the three worlds. It is because we possess this Vidya that even the gods are unable to do anything to us. Along with Chakshushi, I shall give you some divine horses. I shall give each of your brothers 100 horses." To this, Arjuna replied, "I do not take anything even from someone very close." The Gandharv then said, "In that case, give me something and take a gift from me in return." Arjuna agreed to give the Agnyastra to the Gandharv and receive the horses in exchange. The Gandharv said to him, "You are Kshatris. Therefore, unless you engage a suitable priest and act according to his advice, auspicious results will not befall you." Arjuna instructed him in the Agnyastra along with the sacred chants and said, "For now, let your horses remain with you. I shall call for them when needed," and then took his leave. The Pandavas and Kunti continued their journey. Leaving the banks of the Ganga, they reached the sacred place of Utkochka. There, the sage Dhaumya was engaged in penance. The Pandavas offered their salutations to him and requested him to be their priest. Dhaumya correctly assessed the wisdom, prowess, strength, and enthusiasm of the Pandavas, considered them worthy of his guidance as priest, treated them with the hospitality due to guests, and gave his consent to fulfill their wish. As soon as he agreed to be their priest, the Pandavas overflowed with joy as if they had become the rulers of the entire earth. At the same time, some people who were going to the city of Kampilya to see the Swayamvara of Draupadi arrived at the hermitage where Dhaumya lived. Seeing them, The Pandavas expressed their desire to also see and enjoy the festivities of Draupadi's Swayamvara along with their mother and Dhaumya. Seeing the Pandavas in the guise of Brahmins, those Brahmins asked, "Where have you come from? Where are you going?" Yudhishthir replied, "We are travelling from Ekachakrapura toward the city of Kampilya. We too are going there. The Swayamvara of King Drupad's daughter is taking place there. It is said she is very beautiful. Many kings are coming for the Swayamvara, and for the Brahmins who come to watch, the great king is giving gifts of cows, gold, and food. We shall watch the wedding celebrations and return," said the Brahmins. The Pandavas and Kunti also set out with them toward the city of Kampilya in southern Panchala. Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 13 complete. For now, Swasti.